What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. Alrighty, in today's video, we're going to be doing another set of reveals, and it's going to be for Dragoncraft. So last set, Dragoncraft had Disdain, and it had a very good and unique mechanic to deal damage to your Dragoncraft followers, and then you get some effect off of that. So that was very interesting for last set. So I've been hearing a lot of things about Dragon just getting better in this set with the Disdain stuff. There were going to be more Disdain stuff coming out, I'm not sure. That's just what I've been hearing. But let's go ahead and see what the cards are being brought to us in set 6. Alright, so the first card we're going to be looking at is Aquascale Stalwart. So it's a 2-cost 1/4, some pretty nice stats. It has Ward, and then Fanfare, so when it comes into play, if Overflow is active for you, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and from among them you put a Dragon Follower with an original cost of 5 or more to your hand, and then put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. So not only do you get a Ward card, which is pretty nice with some good stats, you also get an effect if you are in Overflow, which you should be, it's Dragoncraft. You should be able to look at the top 5 and get any Dragoncraft follower that's 5 or more. You can search for a Storm follower, you can search for whatever engine that you might need that can help you in the situation. Now, it is sad that it's only a Dragon follower and you can't get like a spell or anything, but then I'm pretty sure the card would be too good. Alright, and then next up we're looking at Dragon Blader, so it's a 4-cost 5/5. You can evolve it for 1, and then when it comes into play you can put a dragon onto each player's EX area. So if you don't know what a dragon token is, since you're probably one of the newer players coming to Shadowverse, or if you're old player you should already know what a dragon token is, but it's a 4-cost 5/5 that's just a vanilla, and it has very good stats. But getting into the Dragon Blader Evo, he does become a 6/6, but on evolve you can choose a card in the EX area and banish it. I'm pretty sure it means opponent's EX area, and if it does mean opponent's EX area, so now Dragon has a way to just counteract. Instead of using Erd, now they can use a 6/6 follower to get either Tin Soldier or any of those cards in their EX area out of the game. Alright, so it looks like Dragoncraft is getting another 1-cost spell named Flame Winged Might. So you can choose a follower on your field and give it +2 attack. So I think this card would be really good in Discard Dragon because you're going to be discarding cards to get some burn damage through, and when you really want to get through to your opponent that's in like some really close double digits like 11 or like 10, you can use Forte and then use this card as well, so she will swing for 9 instead of 7. And there's also another situation where if you have a Storm follower that's swinging for a lot of damage besides Forte, probably looking at Genesis Dragon. I know Genesis Dragon costs 9 and everything, but you do have that 1 play point to play around with, so you can make Genesis Dragon swing for even more if you want to. Alrighty, and next we have our first legendary. We have Garyu Supreme Dragonkin. So he's a 5-cost, he's a 3/4. You can evolve from 1 as long as this is on the field. All other dragon followers on your field gain Ward. And when you play him, Fanfare, you draw a card. So not a bad ability, but it's just pretty bad because he can be really concentrated into some very hard removal. He has some very good stats in being a 5-cost, since you are going to be ramping and you'll get there first. You can just go ahead and play this card out, you're going to draw a card to replace him, and then all your dragon followers that are swinging this turn can become wards. Alrighty, and we have the Supreme Dragonkin evolve, so he transforms into a 4/5. And as long as this card is still on the field, all other dragon followers have Ward, and then on evolve, you may put a dragon follower with an energy cost of 5 or less from your hand to the field. So I don't know if you guys watched my Abysscraft reveals or any of the Forestcraft reveals, but I will tell you I love it when cards or legendary cards are able to play other cards onto the field. So effects like this, where we can spend 2 or 1 to evolve a follower, and then we can play another follower, bam, right out of our hand, and then use their effects. Alright, looking at the next card, we have Ice Dancing Dragon Nude, so it's a 2-cost 2/2. You can evolve him for 1, and then Fanfare, when he comes into play, if Overflow is active for you, this card gets +1 attack. So playing in the late game with Dragoncraft is going to be pretty nice. I know with PDK, this card is going to be very good too because it's a 3 or less card, and then you're able to play it over Overflow, and then it gets the Storm and the plus attack, so you'll be dealing damage to face and for a total of 4. And then looking at the Ice Dancing Dragonute evolves, so he becomes a 3/3 on Evo, and this card may ignore Ward when attacking. So let's say you're going in for a very prestigious play against a very skilled, deck that has Ward. I'm going to be using Soul Dealer for an example. They're gonna snipe the card away, heal for whatever damage. Well, if you have like a nice combo on the board to use this card in an Evo, and then swing for a potential the rest of the 4 damage since it gets the plus, I see that being a very good combo. And then we have Jade Long Tactician, so it's a 5-cost 3/5, it has Storm, and it has a strike ability, so when it swings, you choose another follower from your field and you give it +1/+1. And then if it's Garyu Supreme Dragonkin, give it +2/+2 instead. Alright, so this looks like it's the optimal card to be playing off of the Garyu Supreme Dragonkin legendary effect. So you play this card for free, you're able to swing Storm since, it's able to just swing as soon as it's played. And then you get the +2/+2, and then Supreme Dragonkin becomes a 6/7, I believe, which is a very huge stat line. Now, I wish there was a way to give him Storm, but then, Dragoncraft would be really, really broken. And then we have another target to be looking at. We have Phoenix Express, so it's a 5-cost 5/3. It has worse, and then last words, you reduce your max play points by 1, but you put this card into the field in engaged state. So a very interesting effect of the last words, because you're going to be using the rush effect, and since it only has 3 defense, there's going to be a lot of wards that get through to this card. So just reducing your max play points if you're already at 10 isn't too bad, because you'll be going back to 10 the very next turn, so it won't really matter. Alrighty, next up we have Sword Whip Dragoon, so it's a 2-cost 1/1, and then has a fanfare ability, so when it comes into play, you choose up to 2 followers from the enemy field, deal 2 damage to it, and then if Overflow is active for you, deal 4 damage instead. So a nice little cute angelic snipe ability for 2, and you get a 1/1 follower out of the next 2, but if you're over the 7 play points, you can be dealing 4 damage for 2 at 2 followers. Alrighty, next up we have Trident Merman, so he's a 5-cost 4/4. He has a fanfare ability, so when he's played, you put 2 Megalorica tokens onto the field. Alrighty, I can already see a lot of jank and like spicy decks being played with this deck, or just this card in general, because they can make a lot of things happen. So you can use PDK, and you really don't need to worry about the Trident Merman. It's just a 4/4, but you're able to spawn 2 more bodies out of it, and I like cards like this, just because you can just spawn 2 more bodies. Yes, it is filling up your board, but you're going to have a lot of damage on this field, especially if you have PDK. And then there's also the concoction that you can use this combination with Garyu, so you can play this as the 5-cost follower, and then you can get 2 other cards out of it. Alrighty, and we have our premier legendary White Frost Dragon Newt Phylene, so she's a 1-cost 1/3, and she has a fanfare ability 2 actually. So one of them is you choose a follower from the enemy board, you can engage it, and at the start of your enemy's next turn, it is unable to stand. And then it has another fanfare ability, so if Overflow is active for you, you search for a White Frost Whisperer from your deck and then put it into your EX area. Alright, so what a nice 1-cost stun card for Dragoncraft, and a very beautiful art as well too. So now the question really arises, so if a follower is already engaged on the field, I'm pretty sure, and this is what I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure you can still choose that follower. You don't have to engage it to make sure it doesn't swing again, it's just not able to restand. Now, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, guys, because I want to make sure we're getting the right information out there. So how I'm saying it again is that if the follower is already engaged, you can still choose it because you're choosing a follower, as long as it doesn't have aura, you can still choose it and make sure it doesn't unengage. But outside of that, let's figure out what the White Frost Whisper is. Alrighty, and then we have White Frost Whisper, so it's a 2-cost spell, and when you play this card, if Overflow is active for you, you can subtract 1 from this card's cost. You can choose a follower in the enemy field and engage it, destroy it, and if there's a White Frost Dragon Newt Phylene on your field, deal 2 damage to its leader. So some very interesting combination there. You can go ahead and play the 1-cost card if you're at 7 or more play points. You can go ahead and search your deck for this and then put this into the EX area. It becomes a 1-cost. You get a 1-cost follower, so I can already assume that PDK is going to get a whole bunch of support from this too. Or if you want to add this into a Disdain deck to, stop some early aggression for decks, this would work too. But you can also have some really good burn damage from this spell and then stun a card and destroy followers. Alrighty, and then we have Y-Worm, God of the Sky, so it's a 4-cost 4/4. His card is unable to be played from anywhere other than your hand. You can evolve it for 1, and then has an activate ability to pay 2 play points and put this card from your EX area into the graveyard. You can choose a follower on your field and give it +4/+4. This turn, it is unable to attack any enemy leader or follower in the enemy field. So it looks like there's a way for this card to get put into your EX area, but when you do the activate ability to get rid of it out of your EX area, you can give a follower +4/+4 if you're in those, grind situations where, you're drawing a card and you need to make the most out of your plays, and your opponent's running out of removal. This is a very nice card to use just in a, clutch situation, because you're going to have a big follower, and if they don't have a way to just hard-on spot remove your follower, then they have a lot of damage coming at them. But looking at the God of Sky's Evo, it becomes a 5/5, and then on evolve you add 3 to your leader's health, and then has a last words effect to put this into the EX area. Alright, so it looks like the evolve is how you're able to put this card into the EX area, because when I was reading the first card in my mind, I was thinking, how are we going to use those 2 play points to get it out of the EX area if the only way we can play it is from our hand? And then if it gets removed, you know, what then? But it seems on the evolve you're able to just heal 3, have a 5/5 on the field, they deal with it, and then you can put it into the EX area and you can use your 2 play points to give a follower +4/+4. It can't attack, but it can follow up with another attack the very next turn. Alright, so I want to make a disclaimer. I am not 100% sure if you're going to be getting this collab event, but I think this is V Sojo. I'm not 100% into VTubers like that and whatnot, but I think this is V Sojo. Alright, so the name of the character is Chloe, and then I'm pretty sure that's what the leader is, signed by the actor. And then the 1 cost and then the 2 drop are the cards that are the legendary, the Phylene, and then the White Dragon, you know, 2 cost 1 card that becomes a 1 cost in the EX area. But yeah, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be getting that collab because we didn't get the last one in set 2. Alrighty, and lastly, we have the Dragon Newt 1 cost legendary card that looks absolutely amazing with the Frost Dragon / Ice Dragon, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a dragon specialist in the background. And I think this card would look really good in a dual sleeve Dragon Shield. I can see it now. It would look absolutely fantastic. But alrighty guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be doing this over the weekend, so I will have my Friday premiere. I do have stuff to do, so if I don't, post tomorrow, then I went out and did my stuff, had my, little weekend. But as of right now, I am motivated to do it, and I'm ready to, figure out what the rest of these cards are for you guys. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys, and make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight, and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, TRINN. Just to get you away. What I got to do, what I got to do. Just to get you away. What I got to do.